Hey everybody, it's your girl Bondy Blue, and I want you to check out Bondy's Boutique and get some of my merch, y'all. I've added some new things like my mermaid cups and the mermaid tees, and also the Shake Them Tits mugs. All right, you asked for it and you got it. Check out Bondy's merch at Bondy's Boutique.
Hey everybody, I'm back for Love and Hip Hop Miami, y'all. So let's get into it. So y'all, this episode started off with Chaotic and his freeform dreads with the hair that broke off right here. Look, they having a performance, okay? I like Chaotic, but Lord knows that hair that started to look like taco meat around the front just makes my nerves so bad. Anyway, y'all, he called Shay on stage so she could bust it on the stage or whatever. And everybody like, oh, Baby Blue, you know, in the audience looking like Willy Wonka at the strip club, like I told y'all before. Y'all, that nigga kills me with the fact that he be dressed to the nines with sparkles all over the jacket and shit. Nigga, I'm like, what in the Michael Jackson is going on here? Where is you going, nigga? But you know what? I respect the gangster, okay? At least we know that Baby Blue took a shower before he showed up on set, all right? Also, Ratatouille is there and Prince is there. And they get into this conversation once Chaotic comes over about Prince and Bobby and the fight they had at Tip's performance, which is why Tip wasn't here at Chaotic's performance, because she still feeling some type of way and she ain't feel like being around their ass. And personally, I understand where Tip is coming from, but Tip, you had your performance in the strip club and you a stripper, and strippers be fighting and shit, and it's just not that big of a deal. Like, you had already performed, bitch. You had already did your performance. If a fight had broke out in the club, like any old fucking day, like who was gonna be upset with you about it? Like, I just feel like she's feeling like in some way this is gonna make her look bad, and I just think it just makes Bobby and Prince look bad, to be honest. But anyway, so Chaotic talks to them about wanting to ask Trick to be on a record with him, but he should be worried about the fact that Trick don't know about his date with Joy. All right, now y'all know how Trick is. He feel like once his, always his. And I'm like, nigga, please take, you know, just go take a break. Go lay down some fucking way. You look tired, my nigga, okay? Oh yeah, I forgot that everybody was trying to convince Prince that Bobby is like his brother and they need to have a conversation and they need to talk to one another. And I feel like they don't. I feel like Prince and Bobby's relationship is toxic as fuck. I feel like Bobby is lying about his feelings for Prince. Prince may not reciprocate those feelings, but either way, y'all need to stop, because all y'all do is fight. And that shit don't even make no fucking sense. I don't know two straight niggas that be around each other that much and fight. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, we grown. I don't know no people that's hanging around each other fighting like that and then keep trying to be friends and shit. No, not here for it. Let it go, all right? Bobby isn't speaking to JoJo, Prince, or Tip right now because the nigga's crazy and he ain't that great of a friend to everybody, okay? He's blaming JoJo for his fight with Prince because JoJo put it in his head that Prince wasn't to be trusted. And I feel like, Bobby, grow the fuck up, okay? Grow the fuck up. It's not her fault. She might be messy, but you went to her with the shit and you kept talking to people about that shit until somebody told you what you wanted to hear. So please stop trying to blame JoJo for that shit, okay? He has a conversation with her and she's not proud of how everything went down, okay, with her and Prince and Bobby. But she also feels like Bobby is, you know, trying to blame her for it. But Prince and Bobby's relationship is toxic. So Bobby starts talking about how the situation with him and Prince at the club and how, you know, Prince fucked up the vibe by flirting with this girl and he must have not liked the way I was talking to him. And Bobby tells the story in a way that makes it seem like he wasn't the aggressor. You was popping the fuck off on that man and that woman, and it was unnecessary as fuck. And Prince very calmly told you that you was really acting a fool and he needed you to stop. And you decided to push him, and then he pushed you back, and then you punched him and bloodied his shit up, okay? So you the one that put your hands on your friend first. You the one that was doing the most, screaming and howling, being fucking disrespectful. Liz is not your friend, so don't nobody need you clocking him for her. If you was really this man's friend and not really sexually attracted to him, then you shouldn't be worried about what hoes he talking about, okay? Because Liz don't even fucking like you. So why are you trying to be loyal to this hoe? I don't understand, Bobby. That sounds like bullshit to me, okay? Then they bring up Amara and JoJo telling him about how Amara said that he was messy, and he's like, man, fuck Amara. Amara is the messy bitch because she trying to sleep with everybody mans and everything, and you need to watch her because she ain't never grew up with shit, and you and your family got your own money, and she probably only want to hang around you because you have your own money and all of this shit. And will she really have your back when it comes down to it, JoJo? And I'm like, let me tell you something, Bobby. Like, you sound real fucking stupid right now. Because I feel like, with the exception of Trina, because Trina is who she is, Amara Negra is the only person on this cast with a real working career. Like, really doing what she's supposed to be doing out here. Performing, singing, records, you know, doing her Latina, femme fatale, you know, Amara Negra shit. Like, she's on her shit. And I feel like the fact that you running your mouth is only because you jealous, because you thought that you might be the breakout star on the show. But in all actuality, it was Amara the Negra. Okay? So I just think that you coming from a place of hate, 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 hate. Okay? Amara have her own set of issues, but I think that she is loyal to JoJo to a fault, because I feel like JoJo is messy as fuck. And I feel like if anybody needs to be questioning a person, Amara needs to be questioning JoJo. But she gonna question her, but not about what I want her to question her about. But we'll get to that in a minute, y'all. That bitch had me so exhausted. So Ratatouille invited Pleasure P and Veronica out so that they can mix and have conversations about the industry and shit. And Pleasure P talks about how, you know, shit been kind of stressful for him dealing with Pretty Ricky. But he's about to go on this Australian tour solo. And Veronica's talking about how, you know, she was going through it where she didn't know whether she should give up or not. But now she just found out that she's headlining Pride in Hialeah. So she's excited about that. And here comes Spectacular and Baby Blue. Baby Blue got his glittery jacket on and shit again. Like, them niggas stay in suits. But I love it though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, I love the fact them niggas always got blazers on. Okay? So they take Pleasure P to the side and they just kind of want to have a conversation about what they gonna do about Pretty Ricky. And Pleasure P feels like it's a lot of negativity. It's a lot of shit he don't feel like dealing with, and he recorded his part on the album. So he gonna go and do his solo tour, and when he come back, if they finished up the rest of the album like they supposed to, then they can go on and make this happen with Pretty Ricky, because he wants it to happen as well. But he needs to get out of town and clear his mind and get out of the mix of all this bullshit. And I understand that, okay? So Veronica is rehearsing for her show, and her dad comes, and, you know, he's looking at the wardrobe because he want to make sure it's not, you know, too showy or something like that, because he wants her to be a nice little church girl and shit. And I'm like, nigga, that boat has sailed. That boat has sailed. All right, like, I don't know what you think you about to get, but he asked for her to sing at least one Spanish song when she has her show. And he said, she says that she wants to do Guatemala. And I'm like, okay, all right, I think I remember that song. I think I've heard that song before. I think I have. Either way, she wants to do her mix to that. And he's like, you know, your grandfather would be so proud of you. Me and your grandmother are gonna be on the first row cheering you on. And she's all emotional and happy because this is a really great performance and opportunity for her, and have her family there having her back. It just makes her feel good. And we like, all right, Veronica, you got your little comeback season. All right, bitch, moving along. So Prince rolls up on Bobby in the studio. He was supposed to be meeting Tip, but here is Bobby sitting there, you know, writing in his notebook. And Prince comes in, and Bobby is just real hostile with him, and Prince is still mad about him sucker punching him and, you know, bloodying him up and shit like that. So Prince is like, you know, bro, you don't really want it with me. I'll beat your ass, all of this shit. So Bobby throws his notebook at him, and there's some words back and forth, and then Bobby says, you know, you ain't supposed to be here because you ain't no artist. And that pisses Prince off. So now Prince trying to get the Bobby, and I mean tearing shirts and everything. Security is really trying to tackle his ass. Security gonna get all fucked up, scratches and bruises and shit, trying to keep Prince's ass from getting the Bobby. And Bobby like, fuck you, and Bobby walks outside. So then they bring Prince outside, and they got a big ass GMC parked right between them. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go with the parking lot shit, okay? And then we get into the conversation of how Bobby wants to know why Liz doesn't like him. And Prince says she don't like you because she thinks you're trying to turn me. And Bobby says, bruh, like every time somebody asks me if you gay, I always say you not, because you not. I always defend you. And Prince is like, bro, what are you talking about? I'm the one that's always defending you. I'm the one that's got my brand looking bad because I'm always hanging around you and you always with the shits. And Bobby like, nigga, you ain't got no brand. You ain't had no brand before we started hanging out, nigga. I gave you the brand. I'm like, none of you niggas have brands, okay? If being, you know, secretly in love is a fucking brand, then I guess. All right, but that's all anybody is thinking about, you two motherfuckers, all right? But Bobby feels like none of this is enough to just say fuck their friendship. And I'm like, Bobby, so you think you punching him, spazzing on him, y'all getting into multiple physical, you know, fights. You don't think none of that is a reason to not continue to still be friends with you? Really? Okay. Okay. All right, nigga. But you never want to take responsibility, and I guess you thought you was apologizing to him, but you really weren't. You're an asshole about it. You feel like niggas supposed to just get over it, and if they don't get over it, then oh, fuck them. That's not being sorry, my nigga. That's not. So Bobby goes to see Tip, and she's just not happy with him. She's not happy with him at all. She's not happy the way he handled things. That was her night, and he made it about him. Bobby says that he is tired of having to apologize to all his fucking friends. And I'm like, I wish you would stop being an asshole. That way you would stop having to apologize to everybody. So he stops talking about his issue with Tip and starts talking about how, you know, Liz said that, you know, he's trying to turn Prince. And how he, you know, tried to apologize to Prince, but he wasn't trying to. I'm like, baby, you ain't never apologized to that man. But okay, I guess that must have been a deleted scene. Okay. So Tip says that, you know, Prince is probably at his limit with this shit. Prince has probably had enough of you and all of this craziness that you bring into people's lives. Bobby says that he knows that he needs a bitch like Tip in his life, and Tip need him in her life, and you know, she his real friend and all of this type of shit, so they need to just let their beef go. And Tip is like, look, you know, you talk all of that shit, but you come in here like, you know, either, you know, you still mad, yes or no. Like, fuck out of here with all of that shit. You was a spoiled ass brat. All right, she tells him straight up that he fucked up and he wrong. And, you know, she asked him for lobster and some Hennessy and a candle to make it better. And I'm like, girl, that's it? That's it? That's all you want is lobster, Hennessy, and a candle? Y'all live in Miami. I'm sure lobster don't cost that much. I'm just saying, lobster don't cost that much down here. So I just kind of feel like, nigga, I need 2 lobsters, a steak, a baked potato, some motherfucking asparagus, tips. I need a whole bottle of Hennessy, some chocolate-covered strawberries, nigga. I need a whole fucking Valentine's Day to forgive you for all of your foolishness, okay? That's how I would have felt. But Bobby said he got her, and he just laughed it off, so I guess they're in a better place now. But Bobby, I feel like, just really doesn't understand how fucked up he can be sometimes. He just takes no responsibility and feels like his friends owe him for them to hurry up and get over whatever he's done to them. And I just kind of feel like that's not right, and that's immature as fuck. So y'all, Chaotic got into an accident after running from an unmarked police car. He said he didn't know it was a police car. All he know is somebody swerved around him and was following him, and he was just trying to get the fuck. But the news reported it like he was resisting arrest and running through traffic lights and hitting people and all of this shit. So it was a very fucked up situation. So he paid his bond to get out of jail, and then Tip and Prince came to pick him up. And they had this conversation about how hard it is for black men and how he has to get himself out of the environment that he's in if he ever expects for his life to stop being like this. And Prince was like, you know, bruh, I was in it. In a way, I'm not saying that Prince don't know he black, but the comments that Prince made to that lady about dark-skinned women and all of that, and you know he think he Papi Chulo and all of that shit. So I wonder sometimes, does Prince know he's black? I wonder if he knows, because he is. I don't know if he know, because it wasn't like he was including himself in when he was talking about how hard it is, okay? He said, you know how it is for black men, man. You know how it is. Now, he didn't say, you know how it is for us. He said, you know how it is for black men. And then he said, you know, I grew up around it. Not saying that I dealt with it. Was saying I grew up around it. But then eventually he was like, you know, I kept getting in trouble and all of that, and I had to change my environment and shit. But I still was feeling like, you know you black, right? You know you included in that, right? You know when the popo see you whole, they see color. You know that, right? Even though they see soft hair, they see colored boy, okay? Anyway, y'all, moving along. Chaotic said he need a bath and a piece of chicken, and I'm like, the fact that he know he needed a bath, thank you Jesus. So he goes home to his mom and his sister and his niece, And they're just very upset about the way everything went down. They are scared for him. And his mama is like, I have been through so much with you. Okay, so one point I thought I was gonna lose my job. I have gone through so much and I am tired of being stressed out worrying about you. I'm tired of saying a prayer for you every time you walk out this door because I don't know what's gonna happen to you. And y'all know he's been shot multiple times and shit like that, been in and out of jail, and to now feel as if people was chasing him. It's obvious that he needs to get himself out of whatever the situation that he is in. And his sister is like, bro, I don't want to hear that shit. We all grew up in the same place, but you made decisions to go and live that life. And he felt like because they struggled so much, he had to get out there and get this money. Like a lot of young black men feel. Had to get fast money because they grew up wanting. And his sister was like, nigga, you ain't never grow up needing nothing. Okay, we always had clothes on our back and food on the table. You got a nephew, you got your niece right here. You got people that love you, that's worried about you. How would you feel if they was out here in these streets living that life that you living? You need to get your shit together. Like everybody was saying that he needs to get his life together so that shit like this can stop happening to him. And y'all, I really like Chaotic. And when his mom said, you know, you was a good boy, when you was in school and the principal told you you wasn't gonna graduate and you said I'm gonna graduate, and what did you do? You graduated. I'm like the type of nigga that'll put his, you know, his money where his mouth is, so to speak, and be so lighthearted about some of these fucked up things. You can tell that Chaotic has honestly been a product of his environment in a place where I think it's different for women. Like when his sister was going off, I was like, you know, in my mind I was like, you know, you a woman and you don't understand what it is for these boys growing up to be men that have to always prove that they're not to be fucked with. Because girls may get in fist fights and all of that, and if you're in a gang you can get serious, don't get me wrong. But I feel like the life that Chaotic lives is because he was a black man in a neighborhood where people was with the shits. And it's easy for a woman to separate herself from that situation, but it's not as easy for a man, you know? And I think that they were right, but I also feel like the situation is different for black men than it is for black women when it comes to the environment and the crime and the violence and being involved in shit that you shouldn't have to be involved in, you know? I mean, he obviously made his choices, but I also feel like being the type of kid that he probably was, people probably tried him, and he had to be a certain type of dude so people wouldn't fuck with him. Like I really, like looking at him and the type of personality he has, I really feel like that's how he got to where he is now. But now you a grown ass man and you need to figure out a way to make it about your life and about your family's life so you're not putting yourself in danger all the time. But I hope he get it together, y'all. But, you know, I heard Chaotic Boys went after Prince, so I can't wait till we figure out what the fuck happened there. Because, they, you know, they cool. He picked him up from jail and shit, you know. So, yeah, y'all. Let's go back to Bobby and JoJo. So, Bobby and JoJo on good terms. They go shopping with JoJo's mama, who's always there. I'm like, JoJo mama ain't got no friends her age, but whatever. All right. And Bobby is on some sneak shit. He didn't invite Tip to the shopping excursion. And Tip didn't know that she was showing up and JoJo was gonna be there, and JoJo didn't know that Tip was gonna be there. But he wants them to squash their beef. So apparently what happened was JoJo went out there and said that Tip was nothing but a stripper. And that pissed Tip off because that pissed Tip off because Tip has been trying to get out of stripping. She's tired of being looked at as just a stripper. She's trying to be an artist. She's trying to be a rapper. She's trying to be more than a stripper. So that really, like, you know, pressed the button for her. And it's all started because of the confrontation that Tip and JoJo had at that sister panel that Jessie Woo had and all of this shit, you know. So it was misunderstandings, y'all. It really wasn't nothing. It was people in their feelings and saying shit they shouldn't have said. JoJo said some shit, Tip said some shit online, and here we are today, and Bobby wants them to just apologize and get over it. But they do apologize to one another, but they turn around and look at Bobby like, Bobby, you was bringing that shit back and forth, so this is partially your fault too. And Bobby is like, I'm not perfect, so I apologize too. And then Tip goes and kisses JoJo in the mouth. Like, I'm just like, bitch, I swear to God, you either fighting or fucking these bitches, right? Like, Lord have mercy. I'm like, you don't even know that girl like that. You gonna go kiss that Cabbage Patch doll in the fucking face? What's wrong with you? Like, y'all can make up without you trying to fuck her, Tip. Oh, Lord, y'all. I'm just glad everybody making up because I'm tired of everybody fighting. Like, how the hell we supposed to film together if everybody fighting? So Pleasure talks to his dad, y'all. Pleasure daddy got blue eyes. I was like, ooh. That's some exotic shit right there. Now I've known some dark-skinned black men with blue eyes before, but that was a clear blue eye. You know what I'm saying? You know, just you don't see that a lot. Just looking like, oh, okay. But they were just having this deep conversation about P and his childhood and feeling like he was neglected. Feeling like his daddy wasn't there for him, and then his brother left to go live with his daddy, and he felt like he was by himself, and that's how he's always felt. And now, after all these years of being in the music industry, being in Pretty Ricky, he don't feel like it's a family. He feel like all the industry does is tear people down, and he's just tired. He's just tired. And he's, you know, supposed to be going on this tour to try to get his mind right. And his daddy says, you know, you need to go out there and get your mind right and come back and you tell them boys how it's going to be. And if it's not going to be the way you want it to be, then you don't need to do it then. And I just kind of felt bad for Pleasure because, you know, he was crying and shit. And I'm like, nigga really got some shit on his chest. And he feel like he ain't got nobody to talk to about it. And I just kind of feel like if you wouldn't dog the women who love you out, you would have somebody to talk to about it. So JoJo and Amara meet up. Okay, lastly, JoJo and Amara meet up, y'all. Also, Amara can cry. Oh my God, when you say that you're all over social media and you're hanging out with Bobby and you're supposed to be mine for you're mine. You're mine. And you're hanging with him. And he's talking about me and talking shit about my music. And you're gonna hang with him. You gotta pick what you can. You have to pick. And I'm just like, bitch, wait a minute. Don't you have a show or something like that? Don't you got a mama to worry about, bitch? You mean to tell me your grown ass with all this shit you got going on and sitting up here crying about JoJo being friends with Bobby as if the two of them wasn't friends already? JoJo is offended because it's like, bitch, I ain't no flaw-ass friend. So don't try to act like I'm a fucked up friend because I done made up with somebody I was already friends with just because y'all got beef. Amara, you sound dumb as hell, girl. Stop it. Stop it, okay? Because you're doing the most. That girl do not have to pick. If anybody is messy, JoJo is messy. And if you want to be mad about something, you need to be mad about the fact that she always bringing you bullshit and then taking the shit that you say to other people and starting shit with other people. Because she the one that took what you said about Bobby to Bobby. She didn't have to do that shit, okay? So that was some mess right there. I just kind of feel like Amara is worrying about the wrong things. And she also needs to grow the fuck up. Okay, you need to get a man or something, bitch. A girlfriend, a boyfriend, okay, somebody to come and weigh out every once in a while. You need to find somebody, bitch, because you grown as fuck and sitting up here crying about this girl hanging out with Bobby. You need to stop. Amara, girl, you know I normally be on your side, but bitch, you tripping. You tripping and you need to do better, and I am ashamed of you, grown as hell, sitting up here crying behind the Cabbage Patch Kid, hanging out with Bobby Lights. I ain't got time. That's it. That's all. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Follow me on Twitter at BONDY.BRITTANY and follow me on Instagram at BONDY.BRITTANY. Okay, love y'all. See y'all in the next one.